Heyo everybody, Haku here, and welcome to my predictions for The Walking Dead Season 7 premiere. Now, I said like way long ago, there are all these channels out there making like 90 million death predictions, but I didn't want to overthink it and talk about it so much to the point where when the episode came along, we were all like, oh, I'm sick of hearing about all this, I'm sick of talking about it, so I held off completely on any predictions until now. Now, there will be no spoilers in this video until, there's going to be no spoilers throughout my predictions. Then at the very end, the last 2 minutes, I'll say, if you guys don't want to know about rumors going around, go ahead and leave. But there are some rumors that have been going around for months and months that I was going to talk about for a few minutes at the end. And if you don't want to be there for that last like minute or two, I just discussed them really quick. Then I'll just tell you when to leave so that you don't have any potential spoilers. But it was hard to avoid these rumors, and I'm not going to say that they're confirmed spoilers. I don't think that any spoilers are really truly confirmed at this point. I think that there is, I don't know, there's enough, I'm not sure, questionability with it. That it seems like there's 90 different spoilers. There's like the one main that I'm going to talk about later, but it's like these 12-year-olds get a hold of it from some spoiler site and then they post it everywhere, but when they're just made up spoilers, they do the same thing, so eventually it all gets jumbled up and you don't know which is true, which is fake. And so any spoilers you may have heard, don't worry too much, because hopefully they'll be fake. I'm hoping that the rumors are fake, because I think that the show can do a lot better. It can do a lot better than what they're saying. But yeah, I feel like we will have a scene before the death. Getting into the actual predictions, because to me, going straight into the death might be better for some people, but it doesn't seem like what The Walking Dead typically does for me. Typically, we have some sort of setup, and then we show how we got to that setup. We did it with the, I think it was the finale of Season 4, I think did it pretty well, and we do it time and time again after that. So I feel like we're going to have some sort of setup, and the setup that I'm thinking, at first I thought the setup would be good if because we're going to have to build the tension back up after the cliffhanger just shit all the tension out of us. We're going to have to build it back up, and I was thinking, what if we did the whole thing again, but from Negan's perspective? We see Negan like telling his people, oh, they killed a whole bunch of us, they slaughtered them in their sleep, we need to get revenge. We see Negan set up this whole trap that he had him going through during the finale, and then finally we get to the death scene and we see it from Negan's perspective until we get to the actual place where we left off. So I thought that might be a better way of doing things at first, but now I'm thinking what I might like more than that is, say we show the Saviors and Alexandria and stuff just living, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, we just see them living together as normally as possible, as normal as you could call that situation. Maybe we see some of the characters who weren't in the lineup, like Olivia, Spencer, whatever, giving some of the Saviors their supplies a couple weeks later, and we have it established that, oh, this is the world we live in now, and then we flash back to the death to show how it got this way. And I think that'd be an even more interesting way to do it now. But when we flash back to the death, of course we're still going to have to do Negan's speech again and build the hype back up again, but it's going to be different. It's not going to be how it was in the finale. It's certainly going to be different for me. And I think that, of course, they're going to bring the victim up to the front and then do the kill. For the kill, I personally, since the beginning, I have thought that Glenn has a lot more story potential for the show. There's a lot they could do with the character, but I also think that the character is so good that he really deserves this most iconic death, essentially. I think that, I don't know, the character is so big that he really deserves that iconic death, but I also think that he has a lot more that he can do in the story. For ones that I think there's no way at all, I would be floored if it was them. I would be completely shocked. Would be Rick. Of course, we know it's not him. He's been in that promo. Carl, Michonne, Daryl, and Sasha. I don't see Carl, Michonne, Daryl, or Sasha under any circumstances being the kill. I think if they kill Eugene, that it's way too easy and really cheesy after the finale. And I think Aaron and Rosita would be weak for most fans. I think most fans aren't as connected to Aaron and Rosita and really wouldn't feel as much for them. I mean, I would certainly feel for Aaron, I would certainly want him to not die, but I do think it would be one of the weaker characters to choose. I think for the death, Abraham also fits story-wise, even though I would prefer Glenn. I think Abraham fits story-wise, and I do think it will be a bit disappointing if he dies, given that we don't give him his comic death from Dwight, but then say, 2 episodes, 3 episodes later, we have him die by Negan. Like, it just seems a little bit off to not kill him there and then kill him here, when they could have killed him there and gone for 2 deaths back to back like that, or 2 big deaths back to back. So yeah, I think that it might be a little bit, even though Abraham fits for me, I'm not sure how I feel about him dying here. And I think Maggie, lastly of the ones in the lineup, would be the most heartbreaking. I don't think it'll be Maggie, but I think that would be the most heartbreaking, because you think the whole reason they're all out here is to get Maggie to the hilltop. She's the reason they're there. She's what brought them together to go do this, and to see the reason that they're even out there, getting beaten to death, trying to help her, and then that happens to her, Negan cuts them off and takes her out, that would be the most crushing to me. Or out of the 11 that are there, 11 I think that Maggie would be the most crushing, and especially since she had so much character development as well, it would just be extra crushing if it was Maggie. But for me, I've said from the beginning with the cliffhanger, even though I hated the cliffhanger, I was like, when it comes back, the premiere can be great depending on how they do it, and I don't really care that much who they kill as much as I care how they do it and why they do it. So I think that the scene can be good no matter which character they choose, but depending on how they do it, it could also be bad no matter who they choose, but I am hoping and praying for the good, and I believe in the good. So I think that we'll get a really good premiere. I think the finale was still a mistake, but I think that we'll get a really good premiere out of it and kick season 7 off hopefully very well. So after that death, there's something I wanted to talk about. At first, I really hated the idea of 2 deaths. I was like, it's way too easy. And I said before in videos, I was like, it's way too easy. It's pretty dumb and cheesy. There's a rhyme in here. But honestly, I've come to the point where I think that 2 deaths could make sense in the storyline, because the difference between this and the comics, there were maybe like 6 to 8 of them in the lineup. Here we have 11. We have, if there were only 6 in the comic lineup, we have like double the amount of characters here, and the characters aren't tied up or anything. I feel like there's a big enough number of them that if they went to see one of their core members killed in front of them, there's no way they would all be still. There's no way they wouldn't go in and try to stop them or something. And that could possibly have something to do with why in that one promo we see Daryl's cover that was draped over his shoulders, we see that laying on the ground. Maybe that could be where they all put up a fight, or maybe it could also just be where they pull, instead of bringing the death forward, they keep them knelt there and pull everyone else back. That seems harder, but it also seems possible to me. So I think that could explain that. And if they do all get into, like, they try to stop the first death, then I could see a second death. And if there is a second death, I would honestly prefer that they aren't killed with the bat, with Lucille. I would honestly prefer keep the Lucille death as the iconic one-person death and think of a new way to kill the second person. I think an interesting way to kill the second person would be to have Simon, Negan's new right-hand man character, to kill them for getting out of line. I think that would be interesting, and maybe they kill them for getting out of line, and that's what keeps everybody, like, still while Negan beats the Lucille victim to death. Like, there could be a death from getting shot or stabbed or something by Simon, and then another death from getting Lucille'd afterward once everybody is quieted down. And the reason I say Simon and not have Negan just kill 2 people is because we as fans have been given reason to hate Dwight as a villain. Dwight stole Daryl's shit. He kidnapped them and trapped them in that trailer. He shot Denise. Dwight has done things to set him up as an antagonist. Same with Negan. Negan is in charge of all the troubles we've been through with the Saviors, and he's about to beat somebody to death. We have reason to hate Negan as an antagonist. So why have his right-hand man, the only other named Savior we really know at this point, why have him? He would just seem like a weak villain compared to Negan and Dwight. I think he also needs to kill one of our main group. Maybe not like a huge character, but maybe if we have a big character die off from Negan and one of the smaller ones in the lineup die from Simon, that could also be a real possibility and really make fans hate the character and really set him up as an antagonist. And just talking about Simon as well, I feel like I love Stephen Ogg and I love the character, but I actually don't see him surviving this season. I see him dying sometime during season 6. And also, one thing, talking about the right-hand man promo, which I think that scene's going to be next. The right-hand man promo scene is going to be after the... I'm gonna change my prediction now and say actually Negan's gonna select the person and bring them forth. Everyone else is gonna get all riled up and be like, no, you can't do this or whatever. Then Stephen Ogg, Simon, will kill one of them and everybody's like, and that's the huge shocker. Everybody's like, oh my god, he just killed somebody. We can't do anything. We need to be still. And then once they're all still, once they're all crying over the first person getting killed, then Negan beats somebody to death with Lucille. And then everybody is just devastated after that. They couldn't do anything. They had to sit and watch or else another one would get killed like what Simon did. And then they are just, they're done. They are all devastated. Then we have the right-hand man scene, and honestly the right-hand man scene makes it seem like maybe there isn't a double death, but I think that, oh man, I love the idea of them trying to get out of line, Simon just shooting one of them, and then that makes sense. That is the reason why they don't get up during the beating, because if they beat somebody and then they get up during the beating and then they beat somebody else, like, I don't know, it just seems like if they got up it would interrupt the first beating. And this way it won't interrupt it. Negan just drags them forward. They try to get out of line. One gets shot or stabbed or something. Then we have the beating without any interruptions. And I just think that would end up being such a better scene. I really like that idea now that I'm thinking of it. So yeah, we have the right-hand man scene. Negan's going to take Rick into the RV. And we see in the trailer, I'm pretty sure, the RV is at the smoky area that we see in the trailer. But also, I don't think that after this episode we're going to see the RV a bunch more, so I don't think that's from a later episode. I think that's going to be in the premiere. So if that's where Negan takes Rick, and I was sort of thinking about this, but then Ronnie Hayes at Make a Path Presents made a video on it, so I would say go watch his. It's in greater detail, so credit to him. But I think that this will be just a one-on-one conversation area for Rick and Negan, and it will have a cool conversation there. I don't really have any deeper thoughts on it, but Ronnie Hayes did. And I think that the way it looks with the smoke, and it looks like the guy hanging there is in the smoke, it looks like the sun is starting to rise in that smoke scene. So the sun is starting to rise then. We can hear the birds start to chirp during the after somebody gets beat to death scene, so we know that morning is coming. Then once Negan takes him back and we see Negan pointing the gun out the RV during the daytime, that'll be when they get back and the sun has already finished rising. So the sun's out now, and I think when they get there, Negan's going to point the gun out the window and threaten to just shoot all the people there at the lineup or something. Ronnie Hayes actually talked about something similar but had a different idea, but I think he's going to threaten to shoot the people outside the RV just to screw with Rick's head, and then he's going to be like, nah, I'm just screwing with you. Get out there, Rick. So I think that he's going to do it just to play more mind games with Rick and make sure that he knows what position he's in. So once they have returned to the death site and do that, I'm not sure if the Saviors will take them to the hilltop potentially or not. I don't think so. I think once they're there, Negan's going to give one last speech about how they work for him now. Then the Saviors are going to pack up and go, and then we're going to either be left with Rick's group just mourning and stuff, or we're going to be left with them going to the hilltop. with Maggie if she isn't one of the ones who was killed. So then that'll be the end of episode 1. I think episode 2 will have some of the aftermath of the death, and we'll probably get to see some of Carol and Morgan. I don't think we'll get to see the Tara stuff until episode 4, because episode 4, and I've said this a bunch, is like our generic bottle episode number. Season 6 we had a Morgan bottle episode, and it's always like a backstory, like a flashback episode. So we had the Morgan flashback episode. Then season 5, I'm pretty sure season 4 or episode 4 was the, or maybe it was episode 5, but one of the two was the Beth flashback episode, telling what happened to her between seasons. Then season 4 we had the governor. I think episode 4 or 5 we had his backstory from between seasons. Then season 3 even, I'm pretty sure we had a backstory episode at episode 4 or 5 of Michonne and Andrea. So it's always this flashback between seasons sort of episode that happens around episode 4. So I think that episode 4 this season will be a episode about Tara and what goes on with Tara and Heath's run between seasons. So yeah, I think that's going to be a Tara bottle episode. Possibly Tara and Heath bottle episode, but I actually think that Heath stands a chance of dying here. I'm not certain that he will, but I feel like he might. And then, if you guys want to leave now, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm sorry if I offended any of you with any of the spoiler talk at the beginning and how it's a dick move. But there are a couple rumors I want to discuss, so like, comment, subscribe, and I would say skip out for now if you don't want to hear me discuss the rumors just really quick that I have heard. So yeah, go ahead and go now. Thank you so much for watching though. And okay, so everyone left? We all good? Okay, let's talk really quick about these rumors. The first and biggest of which is that it's going to be a double death and that Abe and Glenn are going to get killed. And the way I heard it happened is going to be Glenn gets killed. Or no, Abraham gets killed initially, then Daryl interrupts. Glenn gets killed because of Daryl's interruption. Daryl gets taken hostage. This doesn't make complete sense. And especially with the promo we saw, it doesn't make complete sense that Daryl would be taken hostage if they are also... if they're like also taking Rick away to talk to him one-on-one. It just doesn't make all that much sense. So hopefully maybe that it's wrong. I'm hoping it's wrong. I'm hoping for something surprising, because if so, if this is right, it leaked months ago and further proves why everyone was saying the cliffhanger was a horrible idea. And again, what makes it even worse is, and again, this can be really good depending on how they do it. Even though I think it's a stupid idea, I think it could turn out really, really well. But the thing is, it would be so easy to prevent these spoilers. All you have to do is get a bunch of people, maybe even unpaid interns that want to keep things from spoiling. Just say, hey, throw out a bunch of fake spoilers, throw out a bunch of fake images of saying, oh, look, this person was seen on set so when filming like episode 6 or something, so they couldn't have been killed. Just throw out a ton of fake spoilers like that so that it's so saturated that nobody knows which spoilers are true. It's totally possible to do that. So, yeah, there are just so many problems with the whole spoiler situation. But again, like I said, the death itself, whether it's good or not is more about how they do it and why they do it than about who it is or whether or not the spoiler's true. So even if the spoiler's true, it can still be done extremely well. For the Daryl taken prisoner thing, I think that could actually turn out good and really refresh the character, because I've said before that I love early, like season 1 and 2, a little bit of season 3 Daryl, and then later season Daryl is just really quiet and dull and boring and just out of character seeming. Like Daryl was not the strong silent type. That was not him. Daryl was talk shit, start shooting people, just wild crazy redneck type. And I think that was a more interesting character, and I think we saw it with season 6 episode 12. That was like the old Daryl back again. Or no, not episode 12, episode 10. That was like the old Daryl back again. The Jesus episode, that was so good. And I think we need to see more of that, or at least some sort of change from the strong silent thing, and make him more I don't know, make him more of a interesting character again. And I think that this could do that. This could add a lot more to his story if they go this route with him. So yeah, I think that that could be good, but it could also be done bad. I won't deny that either. So those are my thoughts on the possible leaks, and hopefully they're not right. I feel like they probably are, but I hope they aren't. But anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. Like if you did like the video. Comment down there. Tell me what you thought of my thoughts on all this stuff. Tell me what your own predictions are and stuff. I really like the idea of Simon killing somebody. I just thought of that while I was recording this. That wasn't like anything pre-planned in my notes or anything, but I think that would be really awesome. So anyway, I guess that's it. Oh, also, I thought too, I think the most serious, like, worst thing for the double death, if Glenn and Maggie both died, that would be some serious shit. That would be the darkest shit. Okay, got distracted. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe for more of The Walking Dead and a bunch more. Gonna be doing predictions every episode, gonna be doing reviews every episode, and gonna be doing a video next week actually about what I'm expecting from Season 7 in general. This was just for Episode 1, but Episode 7 in general, I want to do a predictions for just the whole season. Just a broad thing next week. Then follow on Twitter if you want, and I'll try to keep you updated there on stuff for the channel. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.